Welcome to the Get Down podcast. I know you're surprised that Chris is not here today, but where did he go?
He's sleeping. He's catching Z's, man.
Okay, so
Chris, wake the fuck up.
So I had to sub today and jump from behind the camera. But I'm also happy to have a representative from the official sponsor of the Get Down podcast, Andrew Keys, today. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, and I am honored to be a part of the sponsorship because I'm a huge hip hop fan, as some people know.
Yeah, so I remember when you came to the Blackout podcast, actually, you mentioned this and you were mentioning, but there's this story you told me of meeting some huge star because you were working.
Oh yeah, when I was, we did the Scratch Pasta Barbecue when I was working an event in Toronto, and I met Nice and Smooth at the back of a reefer truck and we chugged a beer together. And then I met DJ Premier. I was like a little kid. I felt like a little kid. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, because I have a Gangstar tattoo here. I'm like, you know the song Peace of Mind? He's like, yeah, I produced it. I'm like, shit, sorry, man. And then I'm like, can you sign my arm? I'm like, I'm going to get this tattooed over. And then he had the worst penmanship ever. He just went like this. I'm like, I'm going to try to get this tattooed, but it never happened, thank God. But yeah, so, and a lot of them, when I make cocktails, my inspiration behind them is kind of old school hip hop.
How did that even come, how did that come about?
Me with hip hop or
bringing hip hop to your cocktails.
Well, my cocktails are can be inspired by a memory of yours or events or whatever. Every bartender who creates a cocktail, there's usually some form of inspiration that kind of kickstarted the creative process, and I always use hip hop as a tool for that as well, to create drinks, and also when I post, kind of give some insights on old school hip hop, and just in case some people forgot, just a reminder, Phife Dawg died, or talk about Gangstar, or I name drinks after certain quotes in a song. If I'm just listening to a song in the car, and for example, Dwick by Gangstar. Getting satisfaction from the street crowd reaction. So I made a cocktail street crowd reaction.
Oh.
So or just names of actual songs, and then it's just a tool for me to kind of remind people of old school hip hop. Cool. It's still there.
That's cool because I feel with flavor palettes and then also with hip hop, it's an association with memory. Where were you at that time? Where
exactly.
Were you at that
place?
For
sure. Yeah.
So I feel that's a really cool concept.
Yeah. No. Exactly. So it plays together perfectly.
You were telling me that, and I was like, okay, how did you get to work with Mezcal Agua Santa?
How did I become brand ambassador? Carmen, the owner, lovely Carmen, reached out to some people out here in Nova Scotia and was looking for a brand ambassador kind of during COVID, and then eventually, I got in contact with her, and the rest is history, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
and I love working for Carmen, and I love working for Mezcal Agua Santa. So it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah. Well, what is mezcal exactly?
So mezcal. So a lot of people think tequila is mezcal, but mezcal is actually a type of tequila. So tequila has to be made by blue Weber agave, but mezcal can be made by a bunch of varietals of agave. So this is espadín, the most kind of popular agave that is used in mezcal production. And then we have a Madre Quiche, so that's a different kind of varietal, and they grow in different climates. Some are more rare to find, some you can't really cultivate. So it's a really cool rabbit hole you can jump down with mezcal. So.
You mentioned it has a cool way to make it still traditional and stuff.
Yeah. So it's artisanal mezcal. So they actually, when they harvest, and then when they cook the agaves, they cook it under in the ground from 3 days to a week. It depends how kind of smoky you want it. So they cook it underground, they cover it, and then that's how inherently it kind of gets the the smoky taste in mezcal.
Fuck yeah, well, we're all about the underground too. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
fucking
See,
dope.
exactly.
I love it.
Look at that.
And then your love for hip hop, how did that start?
How'd that start?
Yeah.
Oh, I love telling the story. Like, I was like 12 or 13, and I grew up in, at this point, like Cambridge, Ontario. I was hanging out with my two childhood best friends, Abraham and Manib, and we were playing like video games in their basement. And then, but at that time, I was listening to some like shitty hip hop, like Lil Wayne. No offense to any Lil Wayne fans out there, and like Little John and all that. And then I was in the basement, and Hero came on by Nas on the Untitled album, and I was like, who the fuck's this guy? And like, this is Nas. And I ran home, and then went on YouTube, and I like went down a rabbit hole for like probably 6 hours, and found like Karis One, Rakim, Nas, obviously, Gangstar. Yeah, and
Like,
then
yeah, the classics, man.
the classics. So yeah, I've been old school hip hop fan for like 13 years now. Yeah,
Wow.
Sweet, man.
yeah.
What are you
Wu-Tang
listening-
too on the shoulder?
Hey, there you go.
What are you listening to now?
Right now?
Yeah. Well, no.
No, right now, Karis One just dropped a new album called Between the Protests, which is a great album. He didn't put anything out for a couple years, but it's great to listen to, especially during these times. It's very insightful. Some Action Bronson dropped some new stuff, and then just my classic old school, from Rakim to Tupac, just everything really, like everything in that kind of that realm. But there's some new school stuff I like, but it's few and far between. Yeah.
What are some new school stuff you like?
Again, like Action Bronson, J. Cole is good.
Oh my God, J. Cole! I saw on Twitter the other day. Is he coming out with an album or a shoe?
Probably both. J.
Oh,
Cole.
okay.
I don't know. I have no clue, but J. Cole's always been like he's great giving homage to old school hip hop too,
He's
which a lot
so
of new school
good.
hip hop artists don't. Like they don't
And
have
everything under the Dreamville umbrella is so fucking good. Like, that whole label is insane.
Well, that like exactly, and I respect like new school artists who give homage to people who paved the road before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because just like bartending and cooking, you give homages to classics, right?
Yeah.
So like, say like I do a Negroni riff, so that's gin, sweet vermouth, Campari. I'll make a Mezcal Negroni riff, but you also, you want to give homage, be like, this is inspired from the classic, right? And I feel like you can kind of translate that to hip hop artists too.
Right on. He's the middle child.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what was that song? Oh my God, I was sucked with hip hop. But like there was song. Is that Middle Child? Like, does he have a song called Middle Child?
Yeah,
No,
he's
no.
got a song called Middle Child.
Okay, so is it the one when the video is sick? Is it the one with the really, really crazy video where like in the video, like, at the parties in the church, it's in my cup.
I don't think so. I don't remember.
Oh my God, I'm not remember the song. Anyway, I'm gonna check after the show. But yeah, I love J. Cole. The one I love is this song where he's in a car, he's driving with his friend, and there's something on top of the car. A police guy stops him and he's like singing about this girl he loves and stuff. And then the video ends, and then he's burying a body. He killed a girl. Have you not seen this video?
All right.
Anyway, I love videos. So you said you were from Ontario. What brought you to the East Coast?
I just kind of heard not heard, but I knew some of the best bartenders were out here in the East Coast, and I followed some people I looked up to and took a chance and kind of came out here. I came the first day I moved out here. I came down for a cocktail competition, and I was I'm like, should I stay here? Because I only had a suitcase of some random shit, and I placed in the competition Made with Love that got me to the next round, the regionals. So there's the qualifiers, regionals, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm staying. So, because if I didn't qualify, I would have been like, shit. But yeah, so I qualified for the regionals, and then I stayed ever since.
How do they judge those competitions?
Well, it's different. Me with Love is a lot different than I've done World Class before or the Patron Perfectionist. or Bacardi Legacy. They're all different, but Made with Love is actually, it's a fun one. Obviously, when COVID wasn't going on, they judged it on like technique, sanitation, taste, balance, and all that. Speed for the qualifiers, and then for the it's called regionals. It's like a big event kind of party. So 12 bartenders have their different bars set up. It's always at the Seaport Market.
Right on.
So there's two forms of like, there's I guess how you can win. There's judge's choice and then people's choice. So I went people's choice last year or 2 years ago. But so the people have dog tags, and if they like your drink, they can vote for you. And then they count the dog tags. Then there's the judges who mark you on like inspiration, taste, balance, and all that.
Sweet.
So but that's a fun one. That's like one. Most comps are like there's not people there. There's the judges, a few spectators. But Maybe Love is definitely a fun one because it's like a little party, and it's like kind of like you're tending bar for a couple hundred people.
Yeah, you've been talking about COVID a lot. When COVID first hit, being a bartender, how much did that affect you, and how did you adapt?
Well, I think it affected like all my friends, it was kind of sad to see people struggle, but I think I'm really proud of like especially Nova Scotia for staying strong, and people are still not much businesses have closed down. All my favorite restaurants still open, and I'm glad that restrictions have kind of laid off a bit. That people are still going out and supporting their local bar and all that, and it's
really lucky to be out here. It's crazy.
It's crazy everywhere. It's like it's crazy everywhere. Cause I don't know if you, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a crazy person, but I'm always checking the website that kind of shows the numbers, and like at a point like 2 months ago it was really high, but now it's really low, and we get like 1, like 2, and like we've had days where we've had 0 cases, so that's great.
Which is awesome. And it's funny because like we'll get 1 or 2 cases, and it's like holy shit. And then you look in Ontario and they get like 300 a day, 400 a day. And they're like, okay, sick. Like, it's like not a big deal. But if we got like 10 one day, we'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
That's
you hiding under beds and shit.
Oh man. Okay. Chris is gonna kill me that I'm sitting in his chair.
Well, dude should wake up, man.
Okay. I mean, man, so to Mezcal Agua Santa, thank you for coming on as a sponsor of the Get Down. And
I gotta say, this actually tastes fucking awesome. So get yourself a bottle, folks.
Talking about tasting awesome, something that we talked about was that you were going to create a cocktail for the show. What cocktail do you have in mind to create for this episode?
For this episode, I think since I didn't really know about the Get Down podcast before, so as I'm more involved and start listening, I'll probably be more inspired by it's more evolved around local artists and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's probably talk about like other like old school hip hop and other kind of divisions of it.
Yeah.
But I think as of right now, the drink I'll be making for this episode will be about MF Doom, because rest in peace to MF Doom.
Yeah.
MF Doom's one of my favorite MCs. So
right. It's gonna. You help me pick a name then. So it's either gonna for the cocktail.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be Go with the Flow, or Rhymes Like Dimes.
Rhymes Like Dimes? Rhymes Like Dimes, definitely.
Yeah, you want to do that? Okay, that's the name of the drink. Perfect.
Yeah. I was on like the food thing too.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that whole album, like in terms of like flavor palettes and stuff.
For sure.
Is
Yeah,
just, like,
I'll definitely
crazy.
go down that rabbit hole, and look through, get inspired for his songs and lyrics.
Yeah.
And come up with some drinks, also
deep fried friends.
deep fry. Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that's funny. And of course, I'm sure as we continue doing these, we can get more inspired, or even work on drinks together.
Yeah.
Like whatever inspires you two.
I love drinking.
Yeah, great. Awesome. That's perfect. And now you love drinking Mezcal Agua,
Mezcal, yeah.
right?
I'm with it.
Oh man, Andrew, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys.
Chris, wake up. I don't want to do this because I like being behind the camera. And that's it.
Better check yourself, Chris.
We love you, Paulo.